Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
We are learning Mishna Nedarim, Parakut Aleph, chapter 11, Mishnah Mishnah 4. Okay, so now, a married woman says the following. Kainam sheni oisa al pi abba. Konam, which is an expression of saying that she's making a neder, she's forbidding, that I shall not do any work from my father's mouth. That's the translation of the word. Konam, that I shall not do any work from my father's mouth, which she's basically saying that whatever she makes or any money she earns cannot go to her father. Her father may not benefit from it. She's got a problem with her father, and because of that, she is forbidding anything that she produces, anything she makes. She forbids it to her father. Or she says, Valpi avicha. Or she says to her husband, I shall not do any work for your father's mouth. Okay, she's got an issue with her father-in-law. Or she says, I shall not do any. Or she says, I shall not do any work. Which makes a neder to forbid any work for my brother's mouth or for your brother's mouth. These are 4 examples of a neder she is making. She is basically forbidding her father or her father-in-law or her brother or her brother-in-law from having any benefit from what she does. So now the question is, our discussion has been now, is this a kind of neder that the husband can cancel or not? He has the ability to cancel it. Says the Mishnah, Einai yachal lahafer. He cannot cancel this neder. Why? Because number one, the only type of nedarim that a husband can cancel is either inu nefesh, a neder that causes a personal suffering. This does not cause a personal suffering. Or anything that will hurt the relationship. And the Mishnah is saying that these examples are not things that necessarily negative hurt their relationship. Even if she says to him, "I'm not. Your father can't have anything to do. Your father can't have any benefit from what I make." Still, the Mishnah says that is not called. That's not even called things that are between him and her, things that affect negatively the relationship, and therefore he cannot cancel it. However, let's say she says, Sheni Oisa al Picha, that whatever I make is forbidden to your mouth. She's forbidding him to benefit from anything that she makes, which means any food she makes, any money she earns, he doesn't even need to cancel that neder. It's automatically void. Since the wife is obligated to do certain work for her husband and to give him her earnings, she does not have the power to prevent him from taking those benefits. Okay? Now, let me read to you from the bottom a little bit more of how the Bartanur explains this. A woman is obligated to give her husband her earnings in exchange for his obligation to support her. Since he is legally entitled to these earnings, she does not have the power to make a neder forbidding him from taking them. Okay, so basically she doesn't have the power to do it. She can't forbid him from benefiting from her work because it's exactly what she's obligated to do. She's obligated to do that for him. Again, based on the fact that he's supporting her. So therefore, the Mishnah says, you don't even need to cancel it because it doesn't take effect whatsoever. Now, Rabbi Akiva says, Yafer. He can, and he does need to cancel it. Why? Because what happens if she makes more than he deserves? Okay, there is a certain level of obligation that she has to produce for him, and then there is something more than that. We had this already mentioned in Ksubis. A wife is obligated to do only a certain amount of work for her husband. From the point of what she's obligated to do, there's a specific amount. That's discussed in Ksubis. So therefore, Rabbi Akiva holds that if she works more than that amount, she doesn't have to give her husband the extra earnings, right? She doesn't have to. The extra amount, she doesn't have to give him. If she doesn't have to give it to him, then the neder is going to take effect on that amount, right? It only won't take effect on the amount that she's obligated to him, but more than that, it would take effect on. Says the Mishnah, says Rabbi Akiva, therefore, when she makes a neder about forbidding what she does for you, being that if she does more, the neder would take effect on that. And as the Bartanur explains, it would be impossible for the husband to avoid mixing money from the earnings to which he's entitled with extra earnings, and this will lead to arguments. Therefore, it falls under the category of something that hurts their relationship. So again, according to Rabbi Akiva, you have to, when she makes that neder, although when she makes the neder to say that what she earns, what she makes, her husband can't benefit from. Well, again, halachically, the amount she's obligated to him, the neder does take effect on. More than that, it does. And therefore, since that amount that's more, it's impossible to keep it separate from everything else. That's going to cause problems between them. Therefore, he does. It is a nedra that does matter, and he needs to cancel it. And he does, and he should be and he cancels it, because otherwise, if he cancels it when she makes it, he cancels it, then nothing is become forbidden, even the extra. If he doesn't cancel it, the extra will become forbidden, and there's going to be a problem, because for the extra, the nedra is going to take hold. Therefore, because it does take hold on the extra, the whole neder becomes a neder that affects the relationship, and therefore he has the power to cancel it. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says Yofer, he can cancel it, but for a different reason. Shema Yigarshenu Teyasura Alav. Because, so by the way, let me get back for a second. So Rabbi Akiva is the one who said that, you gotta cancel it because of the extra, right? But the Tanna Kama, the first time, disagreed with that. He didn't say like Rabbi Akiva. He said you don't have to be mefer. You don't have to cancel it. So they bring down here in the notes the Tanna Kama, who says that there is no need for the husband to cancel the neder, holds that a wife is obligated to give her husband all of her earnings. Doesn't make a difference if it's extra. When they gave him her earnings, even more than what she asked to give belongs to him, and therefore, again, if it all belongs to him, she doesn't have the ability to make a neder about it. Now, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri said he cancels it. Why? Shema Yigarshena Uteyasura Love. Maybe he's going to divorce her, and she's going to become forbidden on him. Now, what that means is like this. Because of her neder, now, the halacha is, we mentioned this before, when you deal with Nedarim that she's canceling because it's between him and her, if let's say he dies, so the halacha is that's no more. That doesn't affect the relationship anymore. Doesn't affect the relationship anymore. It comes back. Whatever she forbade on herself that was going to be have a negative effect on the relationship. Well, if there's no more relationship, then the halacha is that it comes back. So now, according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, he says like this. He says that if a person is going to divorce his wife, what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen is that, let me just read here. Let me read it to you from here. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says it's like this. He might divorce her, at which time her neder would take effect, with the result that he will not be allowed to benefit from anything she makes or earns. Meaning, again, what he's saying, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, is that I mixed up with something else. If we say that the neder does not take effect because she's obligated to him, once she's not obligated to him anymore, the neder takes effect. Okay? And if the neder takes effect, he's not going to be able to remarry her. And she will thus be forbidden to him, that is, he will not be allowed to remarry her because he could not avoid benefiting from her work. Since her neder could hurt their relationship in the future by forbidding him to remarry her, he can cancel it even now. That's Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri's point. Let me hear from the bottom. If he divorces her, she's no longer obligated to do any work for him or give him her. So her neder would take effect at that time. Meaning it's not like it's because it didn't take effect then, it's gone. It's basically waiting to take effect if there's a possibility for it. So if her earnings don't belong to him anymore, then the neder will take effect on it. Once the neder takes effect, it would forbid him from benefiting from her even upon remarriage. Since there is no way he could avoid benefiting from her cooking or her household work, he will be unable to remarry her. And therefore, that's already called something that hurts their relationship, not a present relationship, but a future relationship. So according to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, the idea of a husband being able to cancel things that affect a relationship includes even a future relationship. The Tanna Kama, however, disagrees. He holds that since the neder cannot take effect now, it is void and will not take effect even if she gets divorced. Meaning, again, the Tanna Kama didn't agree with Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. He said you don't have to cancel. And he's saying, and the reason he disagrees is because Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri's whole point is based on the fact that she makes a neder that couldn't take effect when they were married because what she was trying to forbid didn't belong to her. Well, once she gets it back because he divorces her, the neder will take effect. And if neder will take effect, then, there'll be a problem marrying her. The Tanakama holds, the first opinion holds, once it can't take effect, doesn't take effect anymore. Therefore, it's irrelevant. If it's irrelevant, the problem that, well, if he divorces her, it's going to become forbidden, because it won't. Because once the neder cannot take effect, it is void and will not take effect even if she gets divorced. And therefore, the Tanakama holds that there is no need to cancel the neder that she says that she is forbidding whatever she makes from her husband. Have a wonderful day.